Welcome along to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
If you love keeping your finger right on the pulse of South African rugby, especially the new talent coming through, make sure you hit subscribe to Rugby Obsession.
Definitely worth doing.
So today we're diving into a really interesting piece. It's from the South African, dated April 29th, 2025.
Okay.
And the title is Three Springbok Youngsters Set for Lots of Game Time in 2025.
Right. That catches the eye. Always keen to see who they're tipping.
Exactly. So our plan today is basically to unpack who these players are and, understand why this article thinks they're about to get significant roles with the Springboks.
Yeah, get a bit of context behind the headlines.
We want to give you the key insights, but, keep it clear and straightforward.
Sounds good. So who are these three players the article's focusing on?
Okay, let's get into it. The piece highlights three young Springboks expected to see more action this year, 2025. It's all part of building that squad depth, it seems.
Which is always crucial, isn't it? Especially for the Boks. That depth is key. And the timing, the article suggests, is interesting too. It's not just talent identification.
No, exactly. There are other factors creating these opportunities right now.
Right.
So, first up, Cameron Hanekom.
Okay, Hanekom. Bulls player.
Yep, plays for the Bulls. He's mentioned as a Springbok newcomer. Got his first test cap last year.
Just the one cap so far, then. And he's been in good nick for the Bulls.
Apparently, yes. The article says he's been in great form. And the opportunity, well, it seems to be opening up partly because of uncertainty around Jasper Wise.
Ah, yes, the neck surgery Wise had. That recovery timeline is probably a bit uncertain.
Precisely. And they also mentioned Liu being ruled out for the whole season.
Wow. Okay, so that really does open up a spot, or at least a chance, in the loose forwards.
It does. Someone like Hanekom, with his strong carries and tackling for the Bulls, this could be his moment.
The timing seems perfect for him, potentially.
Yeah, the article basically suggests 2025 could be his real breakthrough year on the test stage.
Interesting. One to watch closely, then. Who's next on the list?
Next is Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu.
Right, Sacha. Now, he's a name we've heard quite a bit about.
We have. He's 23.
Yeah.
And significantly, he was SA Rugby's Young Player of the Year back in 2024.
Yeah, that's a big deal. Shows the level of talent we're talking about.
Absolutely. And the article makes a fascinating point. It suggests he probably would have more than his current 8 test caps if he hadn't had an injury previously.
That tells you how highly rated he must be within the setup. 8 caps already at 23 is pretty good going, but suggests there was potential for even more.
Definitely. And lately, for the Stormers, his form has been described as simply sensational.
Sensational. Okay. That's strong praise. And he's settling in at Flyhalf, is that right?
Yeah, it seems he's really found his groove there recently, playing consistently at 10 for the Stormers.
Which is such a crucial position, obviously.
Hugely. So the article reckons if he, stays fit and keeps this form up.
Which are always the big ifs in rugby.
Always. But if he does, he's expected to feature regularly at Flyhalf for the Boks in 2025.
That's exciting. Having a young, in-form Flyhalf pushing for a regular spot, that's a great position for the team to be in.
It really is. Huge potential there.
Definitely. Okay, just before we move on to the third player, a quick reminder, if you're finding this deep dive into the Springbok prospects useful, do make sure you're subscribed to Rugby Obsession. That way you won't miss out on our future discussions.
Good point. Okay, the third player mentioned is Jan-Hendrik Wessels.
Wessels, another Bulls player.
Yep, also with the Bulls. And like Sacha, he's 23 years old.
Okay. What's the story with him?
Well, the article highlights some really impressive recent performances from him. It uses phrases like some mesmerizing play.
Mesmerizing, wow.
And suggests he's truly coming of age this season.
High praise indeed. And his position, he's a prop, right?
Loose head prop, yeah. And his timing, his emergence, is seen as particularly significant.
Oh, let me guess. Because of Stephen Kitchoff's retirement.
You got it. Kitchoff retiring obviously leaves a big gap at loose head.
A massive gap. He was such a cornerstone of the pack.
Exactly. So this creates a pretty clear pass for a young talent like Wessels to step up and get some serious game time.
Makes perfect sense. Opportunity knocks.
The article seems quite confident, saying he looks set to enjoy plenty of game time in 2025.
And does he offer anything else? Any, versatility?
He does. That's another interesting point they make. He can apparently also provide backup at hooker.
Oh, really? Loose head and hooker cover. That's incredibly valuable.
Isn't it just? Coaches love that kind of adaptability. It gives them so many more options, tactically and just for squad selection.
Absolutely. Increases his chances of being involved week in, week out, I'd imagine.
For sure. So those are the three: Hanekom, Feinberg-Mngomezulu, and Wessels.
Three very exciting prospects, each with a slightly different story and context for their potential rise this year.
Definitely. The article then sort of wraps up by asking its readers which of these three players they're most excited about, inviting comments and messages.
Standard engagement stuff, yeah. Good way to get the readers involved.
And it reminds people to subscribe to their newsletters and follow them on social media, naturally.
Of course. Yeah. But the core message is clear. Keep an eye on these three youngsters.
It really is. And, this focus on bringing through young players, building that depth, it's just so positive for the future of Springbok rugby, isn't it?
It's vital. You need that constant pipeline of talent, that competition for places to stay at the top. It seems like a healthy approach.
Agreed. Okay, let's wrap up this deep dive then.
Sounds good.
We've taken a closer look at Cameron Hanekom, Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu, and Jan-Hendrik Wessels.
Three young Springboks that this article from South African tips for significant game time in 2025.
Yeah, it's going to be genuinely fascinating to follow their development, isn't it? And see what kind of impact they can actually make on the Boks squad this year.
Absolutely. Potential is one thing. Delivering consistently at test level is another. It'll be interesting viewing.
So, over to you listening.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? Which one of these players gets you most excited? We'd genuinely love to hear your opinions. Feel free to share them.
Yeah. Always good to hear different perspectives on emerging talent.
Well, thank you so much for listening to this Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Thanks, everyone.
Please do subscribe to Rugby Obsession so you don't miss our next in-depth exploration. We'll look forward to you listening to our next episode.